providing us the sponsorship that has enabled us to host this panel session too. So I want to say a big thank you to ExxonMobil companies in Nigeria and ILF Consulting Engineers. Can we please give them a round of applause? We thank them immensely for providing sponsorship for us. So we're talking energy security. Please, let's take a seat. Thank you very much. And I stumbled on this information yesterday. Can I get it on all three screens? Can I get it on all three screens? Yes. I was hoping an expert can tell me what I'm looking at. Huh? Can I get a microphone for my president, please? Please, real quick. Bros, give President SPI one. Even though I'm an engineer by association, I'm still not the expert that you are in this industry. My learning is I rub off from your intelligence. Please, sir.
Primary energy source.
So what's the EJ?
Exajoules.
Exajoules. Okay, so that's like the energy consumed in the world in 2023.
And where it came from.
And where it, thank you. So if my mathematics is correct, it is coal, natural gas, and oil that powered the world the most in 2023. In your opinion and with your expert, your professionalism, for how long do you think this chart, this pie chart will continue to go in this direction? Another 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, 30 years? More or less?
It'll be a while.
It'll be a while.
It'll be a while, yeah.
Which means we're still very relevant as petroleum engineers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I think the other part to remember is the percents. You know, you have to be careful looking at percents. The size of that circle is going to continue to grow, right? So even if the percent were to change with oil and natural gas, they will continue to stay relevant.
Thank you very much. By the way, this is from the Energy Institute. So thank you, President. Thank you. Thank you very much. So there you go. There you have it. We are still relevant if we did this as oil and gas, and then even coal. Coal, which is way dirtier than gas and oil, is still providing 26% of the power used in the world. Simply tells you that, as the panel said yesterday, and I'm sure that today's panel would say, we need to just talk about energy security. Let's get out of this quagmire of energy poverty, and then, as I always say, we'll use the money that we're making from these sources to continue the diversification with all the conversations around renewables, 8%, hydro, 6%, nuclear, 4%, with all the push. So imagine trying to switch off this entire 32, 23, 26 in one go. Then you plunge the world into some serious darkness and setback. All right? Okay, Odion, thank you. You can go back to your event flyer. Can we get the panel into the room now, Dr. Yeti? Let's get started. Let's get started. A big thank you again to our sponsors, Exxon and ILF Consulting. Yes. So for the program today, we would have the keynote address. Following that will be our guest speaker, the Honorable Minister of State of Ministry of Energy, Ghana. Following that will be the panel. But of course, before we get into all of that, the council chairman would speak. Our sponsors will also speak to us, the two of them. The moderator will bring the session to a close. and then the incoming council chair, current vice council chair, will give the vote of thanks. The family photo will follow, and we will retire for today, for the morning, to return this evening for our annual awards dinner. Of course, lunch will follow after that. The exhibition, by the way, is closing earlier than necessary. I say necessary, earlier than usual. It's closing earlier than usual. Today, it will close at about 11, 12. When we're rounding off here, they should be shutting down there. It's all simply to get that place ready for the evening's function. Some have been asking me who would be the best exhibitor. How would I know when the exhibition has not even closed? How can I know? I can't know. So don't worry, just come. You never can tell. If you decide not to come and we announce your company as the winner, I will appeal to council to give it to another company who is present. So everybody should come for the dinner tonight. And if you have not seen the conference brochure since we started, it is in the app, the SPE Nigeria Council app. I will advise you to download that app, because for every of our conferences, you'll only be able to access that document electronically. So please go ahead and download the app if you don't yet have that app. And then there's our mentee.com, how we interact with the panel. Oh, John, can we please get, okay, fantastic. Correct guy, sharp guy. So for today's session, this is the code. Go to mentee.com and use the code 497-36199. Mentee.com, impute this code. It brings you to this panel session, and that's the only way you can ask the audience, I beg your pardon, the panelists, questions. But before we get into all of that, our council chairman, who will pass on the baton for a gold medal race to incoming council chair later today, will be addressing us. So let's welcome our council chairman, Mr. Salahuddin Tahir, for his welcome remarks at this panel session. So please, with a warm applause, let's welcome our council chair.
So it's day 3. And I'm sure you guys are getting your money's worth. You know, it was a commitment we made to you at the opening ceremony. And I know from the feedback that we got yesterday and the first day, it seems it just keeps on getting better. You have an array of panelists today. So you're going to listen to interplays between technology, value, from industry stakeholders. And that is what we do here in SPE, because we stand for knowledge dissemination. That is what we stand for. And you know, it's really exhilarating, because every single individual you see on the panel is a very, very busy individual. But they understand what it takes. When SPE reached out, they all committed. And they're here today, 100% attendance, just to give you value. They want to share their knowledge. That is what this conference is all about. We can't but thank them so much. And we know it's going to be an explosive session. Keep your ears peeled. And by the end of today, I guarantee you, your competence, your capacity, your knowledge will definitely be improved. And then our sponsors. Thank you for sponsoring this opportunity. I'm sure at the end of the day, we'll give you a vote of thanks. But I keep on amplifying the sponsors, because without you, we couldn't have this. Likewise, the audience. So I'll leave you to this panel session. And I'll do my rounds. I'll get my feedback. And I'm 100% positive. I know what I'm going to get at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our Council Chairman. We're moving on swiftly now to our sponsors' remarks. First off, we'll take remarks from Exxon Mobil companies in Nigeria. I'd like to welcome the Director Development, Mr. Oladoton, Executive Director Development, Mr. Oladoton Isiaka. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. So the Society of Petroleum Engineers International President, Terry Palish, session moderator, lead presenters, distinguished panelists, captains of industries, chairman of the Nigeria Council, chairman of the Board of Trustees, ladies and gentlemen. ExxonMobil affiliate companies in Nigeria and our partners are delighted to sponsor today's panel session on the topic energy security, exploring the interplay between technology, market dynamics, and organizational capabilities. We commend the SPE for its continuing role in creating credible platforms such as this for informed policy shaping advocacy on critical issues impacting Nigerian and the global oil and gas industry. Given the topic of this session, as well as experience and the antecedents of the speakers that we have here today, we are confident that we are in for a rich and impactful discourse. On behalf of ExxonMobil affiliate companies in Nigeria, I wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oladoton Isiaka, speaking there on behalf of Exxon, one of our sponsors. Our other sponsor, we thank you, ILF Consulting. We'll be listening to him, but that will be on the panel. For now, we're going to move on to our keynote. Our keynote is to be taken by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Engineer Felix Omashola Ogbe, FNSE. He's not able to join us. Therefore, he's sent, and I'm told the reason is because one of the co-chairmen of the Governing Council is having a meeting with the board today in Yenagoa. And therefore, representing him is the Manager Capacity Building at the board. Let's welcome Engineer Dokubo Obong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richmond. Let me once again apologize on behalf of our Chief Executive, Engineer Felix Omashola Ogbe, who is unavoidably absent here as we speak. He is waiting to receive the Honorable Minister for State Petroleum Resources, Gas, Right Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpo, who has graciously decided to visit the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board in Yenagoa today. The International President Society of Petroleum Engineers, Mr. Terry Parlish, the National President of SP Nigeria, Mr. Salawuddin, and his executive committee members, captains of industries here present. Of specific notes, our own dear mother, engineer Eloho Alboni of SNEPCO, and all other captains of industries here present. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me start by commending the leadership and organizers of this auspicious annual SP conference, as it creates a robust avenue for us all to chart a way forward for our country and the industry, to be precise. The issue of energy security is vital to Nigeria and the global economy and the people's way of life. It is more complex than ever before, as they are influenced by the intricate interplay between technology, market dynamics, and organizational capabilities. The landscape of energy security has always been shaped by these three forces. However, in recent years, their impact has identified, driven by advancements in technology, volatile market conditions, and the ever-increasing need for organizations to adapt swiftly to change. Today, we will explore how these elements converge, with a particular focus on the oil and gas industry to shape the future of energy security. Advances in exploration and extraction technologies such as 3D seismic imaging and horizontal drilling have significantly increased the efficiency and reach of oil and gas operations. These technologies not only enhance production, but also reduce environmental risk, contributing to more sustainable energy security. The rise of digital technologies, including artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, IoT, and big data analytics, is transforming operations across the oil and gas value chain. Predictive maintenance, real-time monitoring, and automation are reducing operational risks, lowering costs, and improving decision-making processes. Technological advancements are also enabling the integration of renewable energy sources with traditional oil and gas operations. This hybrid approach is crucial for achieving long-term energy security in a world increasingly focused on reducing carbon-2 emissions. As the industry becomes more reliant on digital technologies, the threat of cybersecurity looms larger. Protecting critical infrastructure from cyber threats is essential to managing energy security, requiring constant innovation and robust cybersecurity framework. The oil and gas market is volatile as it is influenced by geopolitical tensions, economic fluctuations, and natural disasters. This volatility can disrupt supply chains and lead to price spikes that may threaten energy security. The decisions of OPEC and other major oil-producing countries have a profound impact on global oil prices and supply levels. These market dynamics necessitates strategic planning and alliance to ensure a steady and reliable energy supply. The global push towards renewable energy and carbon neutrality is also reshaping market dynamics. While this transition poses challenges for traditional oil and gas companies, it also presents opportunities for innovation and diversification. And organizations that can adapt to these changes will be better positioned to secure their future in a low-carbon world. Shifts in investment patterns with increased funding for renewable energy projects and growing scrutiny of fossil fuel investments are reshaping the financial landscape of the energy sector. It is on this premise that Africa, and indeed Nigeria, should commence the discourse and conversations around developing homegrown technologies that will help us stand in the right position when the Western technological support will eventually cease in the pattern of financial support for fossil exploration. It is in a bid to overcome the funding challenges that the member countries of the African Petroleum Producers Organizations are working towards the creation of the African Energy Bank, whose headquarters will be in Abuja. Organizations must develop adaptive strategies to cope with the rapid changes in technology and market dynamics. This includes investments in research and development, fostering a culture of innovation, and being open to new business models that aligns with the evolving energy landscape. The oil and gas industry requires a workforce equipped with the skills to navigate the digital transformation and energy transition. Hence, continuous learning and development programs, capacity building initiatives are all essential for building organizational capabilities that will withstand future challenges. In an increasingly interconnected world, stakeholders' collaboration is key to achieving energy security. Therefore, strategic partnership, both within the industry and across sectors, can help organizations share resources, mitigate risk, and capitalize on new opportunities. Engaging with stakeholders, including governments, communities, and consumers, is also vital for building trust and ensuring the long-term sustainability of oil and gas projects. The future of energy security will be determined by the delicate balance between technological innovation, market adaptability, and organizational resilience. The oil and gas industry, while facing significant challenges, also has the potential to lead in this evolving landscape by embracing change and fostering collaboration. In conclusion, as we move forward, it is imperative that we continue to invest in technology, adapt to market shifts, and build organizational capabilities that are not only resilient, but also forward-looking. By doing so, we can ensure a secure, sustainable, and prosperous energy future for all. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to the discussions and insights that will emerge from this session as we collectively shape the future of energy. May God bless us and bless our country.
Thank you very much. Engineer Dokubo Obong is Obmongo is the manager capacity building at NCDMB, speaking on behalf of his principal, the executive secretary of NCDMB, Engineer Felix Omashola Ogbe. Now we're moving on from the ES of NCDMB to a speaker from across the borders in West Africa, and that is the Honorable Minister of State for Energy, Minister of Energy, Ghana, Honorable Herbert Krapper. But Honorable Krapper is not able to, thank you, he's not able to join us today, but representing him is the Chief Executive Officer, Association of Oil Marketing Companies and Downstream Industry Coordinator for the entire Ghana. Let's welcome Dr. Riversing Opong.
The SPI President, Terry Palish, the SPE Africa Regional Director, Ms. Ogogo Effium, the Council Chairman of SP Nigerian Council, Saludin Tahir, the Executive Secretary, Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, members of the BOT of the Nigerian Council of SPE, captains of the industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I'm glad to stand on behalf of the Minister of State, the Minister of Energy, Honorable Herbert Krapper, at the Nigerian Annual International Conference and Exhibition, and I bring warm greetings from Ghana. While we all know Ghana jollof is superior, I am eagerly looking forward to tasting the Nigerian jollof you have for me today. So it tells you that these are not my words, because I have tasted Nigerian jollof many, many times. And I know which one is the best. I won't say it. So these are the words of the minister. So the energy security in the backbone of the economic stability and growth for Africa, a continent rich in natural resources, yet grappling with energy poverty. Achieving great energy security is both a challenge and yet an opportunity. Today, I explore how technological advancement, market dynamics, and organizational capabilities converge to shape our future energy as a continent. Now, talking about technology and as a catalyst for transformation. Technological innovation is the driving force behind the transformation of energy sector, from exploration to production to distribution and consumption. Technology plays a pivotal role in enhancing efficiency, reducing costs, and minimizing environmental impact. Solar, wind, hydropower technologies are diversifying the energy mix today, which is reducing the fuel from fossil family dependency. Morocco's solar complex, one of the world's largest solar power plants, demonstrates the potential of sustainable and reliable solar energy. The adoption of IoT, big data, analytics, automation in the energy sector is optimizing operations, improving safety, and driving cost efficiencies. Shell's use of predictive maintenance technology has led to significant cost savings and increased operational efficiency globally. The energy market is characterized by its complexity and volatility. Understanding and navigating market dynamics is essential for achieving energy security across Africa. First of all, the balance of supply and demand is a fundamental driver for energy market dynamics. Geopolitical factors, economic growth, and technological advancement influence this balance, indeed. Africa's energy security is also influenced by global supply chain. Diversifying energy sources and supply routes can mitigate risk associated with geopolitical events. Government policies, therefore, and regulation plays a critical role in shaping energy markets. Supportive policies can incentivize investment in infrastructure, renewable energy, and technology innovations. Achieving energy security requires robust organizational capabilities that can adapt to challenges and changing technology in the market landscape. Organizations must foster a culture of innovation and invest in research and development R&D to stay at the forefront of technology advancement. Collaboration, therefore, with academic institutions research centers, and industry partners is essential for driving innovation and developing new solutions that will be adaptable in the industry. Developing skilled workforce in critical environments for harnessing the potential of new technologies and navigating market complexity are essential. Continuous training and development programs along with knowledge sharing and mentorship are vital for building human capital, for which we do not take a play with Nigeria when it comes to oil and gas development. Forming strategic partnership and alliance can enhance organizational capabilities and drive collective progress. Public-private partnership, international collaborations, and in the industry consortium can pool resources, share expertise, and accelerate the deployment of innovation across the continent. In conclusion, energy security is multifaceted, challenged, and that requires a holistic approach. By leveraging technology advancement, understanding market dynamics, and building robust organizational capabilities, we can navigate the complexities of the energy landscape and secure sustainable energy for the future of Africa and the world. Dear ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government of Ghana under the leadership of His Excellency Nana Dodako Akufo-Addo, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the SP Nigerian Council for organizing this event, and I would like to commend the outstanding work they have accomplished over the years in the sub-region. Your leadership is a big brother set a remarkable example, serving as a guiding force for other sessions in Africa. Together, we can transform our energy security challenges and opportunities and build a brighter, more sustainable future for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Riverson Opong, speaking there on behalf of the Honorable Minister of State Energy for the Republic of Ghana. You know, this argument about Ghana and Nigerian jollof, the best jollof I've eaten in my life, I ate it in Houston. Yes, and it was cooked by a Nigerian. Anyway, thank you so much. Let's give him one more round of applause. Onwards now to the panel. First off, I would like to welcome an industry expert with over 22 years of work experience, who was the first female asset manager for the Bonga FPSO, responsible for overseeing end-to-end production delivery from the Bonga deepwater field. She has held several engineering roles locally and internationally across production operations, project asset management, and operations readiness and assurance, including functioning as a business advisor. Currently, she is the first female managing director at Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company, SNEPCO, an appointment made in 2021 August, and a testament to her technical competence and drive for excellence. Let's welcome Engineer Eloho Aiboni, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. Joining her is the Chief Executive Officer of one of Nigerian leading independent companies, and that is Seplat Energy PLC, Mr. Roger Thompson Brown, who is not able to join us in person. Representing him is the Director New Energies for Seplat Energy PLC. Let's welcome Mr. Oke Mba. Next is a professional that has over 24 years of experience in the engineering industry, advising various international, national, and private institutions on the development and execution of numerous infrastructure projects. He has held various roles during his consulting career, providing technical advisory services from project conception through the project life cycles, visibility studies, concept studies, front-end definition, and project management. He is Managing Director, ILF Consulting Engineers Nigeria, Engineer Abiodun Oshodi. You're welcome. Next is a professional who joined his current employer in 1991 as a wireline engineer and has served in various PSL and geographic roles in the Eastern Hemisphere. He has served as Region Vice President for Asia Pacific, Area Vice President for Norway, and Area Vice President for West and Central Africa, based out of Lagos in Nigeria. He is currently a Vice President for Halliburton in Nigeria. Let's welcome Mr. Sanjay Verma. Next is an accomplished oil and gas professional with an acute understanding of the industry, having held various leadership and managerial positions in Nigeria and the United States for the largest energy company in the world. With a broad appreciation of SSHE, production operations and asset integrity, geosciences, drilling facilities, reservoir and subsurface, technical, commercial, and business planning, he combines technical expertise with exceptional business acumen. Let's welcome Executive Director of Development for ExxonMobil, Mr. Ola Dotun Isiaka. And the captain of the ship, our moderator, is a board-level professional with a 38-year track record of deep multi-sectoral expertise spanning oil and gas engineering, construction project management, mediation and arbitration, non-profits, and management consulting. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Contago Civil Limited, an energy service company, and serves on the boards of 2 real estate organizations, a shipping company, and an NGO. Let's welcome this fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Noli Akpedeye. As she makes her way up, remember that the menti.com is the only way you can, exactly, thank you, technical, is the only way you can communicate with the panel. So please take note of that. Menti.com, impute the code, and you have access to ask them questions. You're welcome, ma'am, and it's over to you.
Hello? Okay. Thank you very much, Richmond, and thank you all for staying here on the last day to listen to us. It's going to be a very exciting discussion, and I have the best panelists possible. So you're welcome to this pivotal panel discussion on energy security, exploring the interplay between technology, market dynamics, and organizational capabilities. Now, energy is literally the fuel of the global economy. It comes in many forms and has countless uses. Therefore, making sure a country has enough energy is a critical priority for any government. As the world reels from price and supply shocks occasioned by post-COVID-19 issues, the Russia-Ukraine war, and this cauldron of armed conflict that is burgeoning in the Middle East, energy security has become a major concern. Now, according to the International Energy Agency, energy security is the uninterrupted availability of energy sources at an affordable price. Also, the UN SDG 7 speaks to the energy trilemma of energy security, affordability, and sustainability, as this goal aims to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all by 2030. Today, we are honored to have with us 5 visionary leaders, each at the helm of companies driving innovation and resilience in the energy sector. These leaders are not only navigating their organizations through volatile market dynamics, but are also leveraging cutting-edge technologies to ensure sustainability and efficiency. We will delve into the technological advancements, transforming energy production and distribution, explore market supply and demand forces, and examine how companies are adapting their strategies to stay ahead while future-proofing our energy systems. Prepare to be engaged, challenged, and inspired as we explore the future of energy security with some of the industry's most innovative and erudite personalities. Thank you. So I'm going to start with the person to my immediate right, We said it when we were having our pre-meeting, and I said, whoever sits beside me gets the first question. So the honor goes to ILF's Abiodun Oshodi. And I'd like to ask you, what key organizational capabilities have you developed to ensure ILF's preparedness to weather the storms in today's volatile energy market?
Thank you, Doc. When the lady was moving the nameplates and she moved me closer to her, the expression on my face was golden. But it's a very key question, and I would like to look at it in 3 facets. The facet is, one, ILF as a company, how are we trying to survive in a very volatile market that we are in right now? The second is the Nigerian market, and of course the international markets for which we are all part and parcel of. The beauty of ILF is we are a company of about 55 years of experience, and we cut across 4 main business areas. I mean, a lot of people in Nigeria look at ILF as an oil and gas company, but we are a lot more than that. We have a key role in energy and climate protection, transport and urban spaces, and water and environment, with a strong focus on sustainable technology. For the Nigerian market, our 40 years experience has prepared us to continue to serve the Nigerian market, which is the African market, which is looking for cheap and affordable energy to ensure our own energy security. And for this, we are rightly placed, providing services across all areas. Globally, where the challenges are much, much diverse, we are in a world where we're pushing the energy transition and paying less emphasis on energy security at a stage where the surprises of several global conflicts have hit us. So now we're in the middle of a war. Europe is hungry for energy, and the focus has been on energy transition. Now we have to reverse back to first ensure that the population is prepared for the transition that we are in. Now, the beauty is the technologies that we have in the world right now have not scaled up to provide the needed sustainable fuel for the market that we are looking at. So renewable energy is in play, wind farms and all are in play. However, the sustainable fuels that we're all talking about, green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, we haven't gotten to a stage where they can replace conventional fossil fuel that Africa or the world needs to continue to ensure energy security. Fortunately, in Nigeria, we have been part of 2 unique projects, 2 hydrogen projects, which a lot of people will wonder, why are we doing hydrogen projects in Nigeria? But we see a potential for export for the European market or the Western market that is greatly looking for such energy sources. And so we have our key engineers, Nigerian engineers, local engineers participating in this project. We were involved in a 2 gigawatt hydrogen project in Kazakhstan, and those were included Nigerian engineers. So that exposure is preparing ILF for that future. And that future, one, is taking care of Nigeria's energy needs in form of every form of fossil fuel that I believe strongly we still need to ensure that we provide energy for every home. And the future, which could also be us using some of the technologies that are now in play in the Western markets, and also providing a potential source for the rest of the world.
Very much. Big round of applause. Because Biodo has told us that ILF is not a small company. It's 55 years old, and they're developing not just international resources, but Nigerian engineers into areas like hydrogen and other major projects in Nigeria. So well done, ILF. And now we'll ask Sanjeev of Halliburton how Halliburton is enhancing the resilience of her energy supply chains in the light of recent global disruptions.
That's technology at play. Okay, good morning and thank you for the question. I think I will address it from 2 perspectives. One, of course, from a global perspective as far as Halliburton is concerned. I think primarily from a supply chain perspective, the first and foremost is around governance and sustainability. I think it's very important when we look at our supply chain, we look at two or three things. One is, of course, how we put proper processes in place to ensure the right quality of product. The second thing is primarily around making sure that our suppliers are making sure that they're following all the right processes and bringing out the product for our, or as a raw material for our products. So that's very important. And then we also monitor the sustainability aspect of all our suppliers to ensure that, we do our, we put our efforts in ensuring the sustainability of our suppliers. So that's very, very important from our perspective. The other thing is around diversity of our suppliers. So in this market, we ensure that our suppliers are diverse, not only from a perspective of geography, but also from technologies perspective. So we have sourcing from many countries in the world, and we make sure that based on geopolitical issues, there is no disruption in the supply chain. So that is another important factor. Thirdly, I would say that digital transformation, I think we use that quite extensively to monitor the cost, because it's very important to drive costs down for our customers. So that's very important, how we have digital tools to ensure that as far as our suppliers are concerned, they're adding value and ensuring they're driving cost of the products down. So I think these are the few important steps as far as our resilience is concerned. Thirdly, a little bit about Nigeria. I think strategic partnership with our suppliers as well as our local partners in Nigeria is very important for us to drive that energy security. We heard the NCDMB perspective earlier on. I think really from a Nigerian market dynamics perspective, it is very important for Halliburton to ensure that we partner with the local suppliers here in terms of bringing our products, in terms of technology transfer, and ensuring that the people, whether they are in our organization or in our strategic partner organization, are ensuring that we drive the cost down and efficiently and get the efficiencies in the organization. So that's what is from my perspective as far as energy security and resilience, what Halliburton is bringing to the table.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for Halliburton. So they are ensuring sustainability of their supply chain by diversification, strategic partnerships, and deploying technology. Well done, Halliburton. Thank you. So we'll go to SNEPCO, and the only other lady on the panel, Engineer Eloho Iboni. How do you foresee the global energy market evolving in the next decade? And what steps is Shell taking to stay ahead?
Thank you. Thank you, Engineer Nolly. It's no news to all of us that in the world today, it's a major shift that is underway. And if you look at the global market today, you would see that we are now prioritizing sustainability and resilience globally, whether it's Shell, whether it's any other company. That's what we're doing today. In the next couple of years, power demand is projected to increase globally, and that's as a result of the population growing. And as that is happening, right, it is absolutely clear to us that the energy needs must be met. And today, from where we sit, we recognize that conventional oil and gas alone will not meet our needs. And that's why you hear renewable energies coming. For that to happen, we must witness technological advancement. And that will aid renewable energies to grow and become the next energy for the world. Today, we are not there yet. Conventional oil will still make up a significant portion of the global energy requirement. We also see changes in policies as a result of the demand and the climate change. And with that, we see a lot of things changing, carbon pricing changing, subsidies coming in for renewables. And we have several initiatives being talked about to help phase out fossil fuel. But as Shell, right, our beliefs that form the strategy we use to develop our business is that in the next couple of years, conventional oil will still be relevant. But at the same time, that mix has got to be there to meet the needs of the world. And for that reason, right, you find us playing in renewables. Renewable energy will definitely underpin the future energy system. And for our conventional oil, we'll begin to talk about carbon abatement removal solutions and the need to achieve net zero by 2050. And for us to be able to do that, we're looking at 3 areas. The first one being integrated gas development. We are leaders in this space. And globally, we are growing our LNG business. And that's because of the low carbon intensity of gas. So gas will definitely play a key role in transition. If you bring it back home to us here in Nigeria, you find for us, Shell in Nigeria, we are focused on gas. And we're growing our gas business in Nigeria, and we're also developing our deep water. And that's because of the low carbon footprint. So in the last few months, you've seen us take FIDs in some projects to grow our domestic gas and the export. We must keep the LNG train full. Train 1 to 6 is not yet full. We are building a train 7. So we've got to have projects that will help keep that full, provided the economics make sense. So we've taken FID recently in Colo Creek E2 gas blowdown project, and that's to keep the LNG full. We recently also took an FID in Iseni, a gas-rich field, and that would help us with DOM gas supply. If I then move on to talk about the advantage the upstream has, one of the ways we're doing, we're growing our upstream business is to develop more oil and gas, but also cut emissions. Our gas production is growing. But for us to do that, we must make sure that we eliminate flaring. So if you look at our onshore business today, being the oldest operator in Nigeria, we have facilities as far back as 50s. So for you to cut out flaring, it comes with huge capital investment. But I must say that I'm super proud to say that today, from where we sit, we've been able to reduce flaring by over 90% across all those old facilities.
Wow.
If you look at the SNEPCO, our FPSO, Bonga being the first FPSO in Nigeria, it was designed with operational flare. It's now the lowest ever we've ever had. Sometimes in a day, you see us flaring 0.1 and you'll be wondering, where is that flare? For you to be able to eliminate flaring completely, it comes with a lot of capital investment to upgrade that facility. So that's been worked on. But in the time being, the plan is to continue to sustain the 0.1 or less as much as possible. We are deploying a lot of abatement projects across Shell in Nigeria. If you look at Forcados Yokri, it's now up. If you look at Non-River, we've got several of such projects going on. And then optimizing the facility, making sure that fugitive emission is taken out. We do a lot using technology across all our facilities. And for future projects like Bonga North that would come on stream very soon, hopefully by the time we all take the final investment decision. Such projects are guided by by guidelines. So it must be carbon competitive. You cannot bring in any new project today in Shell which is not carbon competitive, because we have our goal to meet our net zero by 2050. So we've got new projects coming in to help us with that. And lastly, if you look at renewable, we've got a differentiated downstream renewable and energy solution. Between 2023 and 2025, as Shell companies in the world, we are investing over 10 to 15 billion in low carbon energy solution. In 2023 alone, we invested about 5.6 billion in electric vehicle charging for Shell Group. That also covers renewables, hydrogen, and carbon capture and storage. Just this quarter, we took an FID in Polaris carbon capture and storage in Canada. So if you bring it back home in Nigeria, we're not left out. We must also play our part. And Shell Nigeria Shell Energy Nigeria is playing closely in that space. Just a couple of weeks back, we signed a 20-year gas supply contract with Oyo State government. The market must be there. So far to date, we've been able to connect 5 new customers. We want to bring it to as much as 150 customers. Imagine what that will do to industrialization in Nigeria. Olon is also not left out. We've got areas in Nigeria where people don't have light. And Olon, which is a non-profit organization for us, is investing in renewables, taking energy to areas where electricity don't exist, places where we call underserved and unserved in Nigeria. And that's mostly in the Niger Delta. So currently, we've got about 80,000 customers, 14 megawatts capacity, impacting over 400,000 lives already. And we want to do more.
That's simply awesome. Round of applause for all.
We are playing there.
Thank you so much, Ella. She spoke a lot about what Shell is doing to diversify the business into renewables and to keep the LNG full. FIDs Shell has taken. So business is coming. Talked about integrated gas projects. Talked about what they're doing in Shell for flares down. So very soon, touch wood, all the flares will be out in the Niger Delta, in areas where Shell operates. And I'm really happy that she's talked about what we're doing at the micro level to provide energy to people in underserved communities or even last mile communities. And she talked about Delta State, where I'm from. I hope that one day Elon will come and put something in my own village. To God be the glory. But thank you so much, Elon. So we'll move swiftly to OK from Seplat. And OK, please tell us how Seplat is addressing the dual challenge of ensuring energy security while meeting climate change mitigation targets. You know, Ella talked about net zero by 2050. So tell us about Seplat and what you're doing in that space.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. Those two objectives are very important objectives: energy security and also being part of, climate change mitigation initiatives. As a country, we have to pursue both. And as a company, Seplat, what we have done since our inception in 2010 is that in our assets, we have significantly grown production over that period, but with particular emphasis on gas, and I mean domestic gas. So within this period, at Oben, which is our major gas hub, in addition to the 90 million scf a day plant that we inherited when we purchased the asset, we built an additional 375 million scf per day processing plant in Oben. We have quite recently, together with NNPC, delivered the Ano gas plant project in Imo State, a new $700 million investment, 300 million scf per day processing capacity that will also be channeled to the domestic market. And we expect that plant to come on stream in this quarter. So the gas should be in the market very shortly. At the same time, we are also finalizing the delivery of another gas plant in Sapele, 85 million scf per day. So when you put all of this together, we've now put in place close to 850 million scf processing capacity per day that we channel to the domestic market. So these investments consolidate our position as a leading supplier of gas into the domestic market. Why are we doing all of this? It's because we clearly understand we have to play our role in ensuring that that goal is attained. We're also quite clear in our minds that every molecule of gas that we produce that goes into power displaces diesel as a source of energy and achieves 30 to 40% lower carbon emissions when you use gas, which is a lower intensity in terms of carbon emissions fuel. So that's how we are contributing to reducing carbon emissions. In addition to that, we are also now ensuring that all of our new gas plant developments come with LPG so that we can provide clean cooking fuel for families to contribute to improving health and well-being of the populace. Again, with respect to flaring, which was mentioned some moments ago, we've announced that we are on track to end routine flaring in all our locations by next year, 2025. And I have to emphasize that all of the projects that are required to deliver these objectives are already in execution. So we are well on track, and we are confident that we'll deliver that objective by end of next year. But the one that is quite close to my heart, really, is a laudable project that we're executing in Edo State, one of the states where we operate. We've this year embarked on a project we call Trees for Life. In that project, we're going to plant 1 million trees in Edo State starting this year.
Wow. Awesome.
So that project will run from 2024 to 2030, and at that time we'd have delivered all of those million trees. We are getting wonderful support from Edo State government. Land has been made available to us. The relevant ministries in Edo State are working closely with us, and we are quite proud of that project. It will raise the carbon sequestration potential of our forests, again helping to ensure we achieve the net zero targets of the country. Each of these trees, when they get to maturity, will be able to absorb about 18 kilograms of CO2 per year. So when you multiply that by 1 million, you can have an idea of how much carbon that will take out of the atmosphere as a result of that bold and laudable project. So those are some of the things I like to touch on.
Thank you, and well done to Seplat. Thank you so much, okay. Just wanted to ask, what kind of trees are these? Because we're looking also to reforest, kind of, so that we can get wood in Nigeria. Being a civil engineer myself, I'm really frustrated that I cannot get Masonia wood anymore in Delta or Edo states. So, but thank you so much for telling us all that Seplat is doing to move us towards net zero by 2050, and also the lovely work you're doing in Edo State and Imo States to expand the gas plants and provide much more gas supply for the country. And what I really loved was the talk about the LPG. So I'm hoping that what you're doing in your gas plants will also drive down the price of LPG in Nigeria. Thank you. Clap for Seplat. So moving on swiftly to ExxonMobil, and we're talking policy this time. So, Dr., please tell us, what policy changes would you advocate for to support and significantly improve energy security?
Thank you very much, and good morning to the audience. I'll address that question in two parts. One in terms of enablement, and the other in terms of pace. So for the next level of energy projects that would help with energy security, it's important that we enable and make it easy in 3 different areas. The first one is that we have to, as a country, compete very hard for the scale of investment dollars that will be required to progress these energy projects. The second aspect of that is that we need to be cost competitive. so that regardless of the price of oil and gas, our production here will always have an outlet. And the third aspect is that we recognize the fact that the PIA that was put in place a couple of years ago had one of its objectives as creating clarity. And therefore, it is important that as the frameworks are being put in place to operationalize PIA, that we do not forget about that original intent of creating stability that would end up creating an investor-friendly environment, because that is what will bring capital in for the energy projects that would help with energy security. So those will be the three items when I look at this from the lenses of enablement. The second lens is through pace. So the next evolution of projects for energy in Nigeria cannot be chronicled in decades, because that's how we will chronicle the history. You know, we're actually in decade 6 or decade 7 as of now. But that next batch of projects cannot be chronicled in decades. We have to move faster, years or even months, because things are moving really fast. Most assets in Nigeria are fighting against approximately 10 to 15% decline in the best cases. So you need that investment to come in to offset this decline. And that's why I say time is of essence. Capital will always find its way to the best investments. And the best investments reside in areas that have the best regulatory frameworks, that provide the best incentives from a taxes perspective, royalties perspective. And for Nigeria, there's a real chance that if we do not move fast, our hydrocarbon resources may end up being stranded. Not just for now, but probably for good. So in concluding, I'll leave you with 3 words: stability, competitiveness. Those are the 2 words that summarize the enablers. And then the third one being pace, because time is of essence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So stability, competitiveness, and speed, time. There's one thing you said that I don't like to hear: stranded assets. It's just a no-no. So we don't want to get there. But Dr. I really wanted to find out from you, apart from PIA and implementing it, is there anything else in terms of policy you think we should be pushing in this government, in Nigeria in particular?
Yeah, so in terms of policy, it's all about attracting the investments required for the energy projects. And the things that would make investments come into the country, as I said earlier on, you have to create that stable environment. That's the one that ties to the PIA. But in addition, you have to offer good incentives, and you make the area secure.
Okay, thank you. So incentivizing investors so that they can come. And also for us that are executing the projects or, sanctioning projects, to make sure that they're competitive, so that the costs are attractive to investments. So we'll go back to Biodun and ask you, how have data-driven insights led to improved decision-making in your energy security strategies?
I mean, the challenges ILF faces are not the same as the producers, Seplat, Exxon, and Shell. We are service providers to them. So our main focus is using data that's available to support their own decision-making. For the advantage is that we are able to compare data across various locations in which ILF is working, and using that data to guide them in making their own decision. And the use of the data is in various forms: supporting regulatory decision, supporting further investment, capital investment, operational investment. Quite recently, we were able to support a client here who was looking at setting up his net zero strategies. So, and what were we looking at? We were looking at what data he has to gather in fulfilling his regulatory reporting. So, in form of GRI reporting, and also having a firm understanding of what his operational assets are. The beauty of the Nigerian environment is that a lot of our infrastructure is old, right? And we have, like my colleague from CEPLAT said, we need to make a lot of investment to get them to that next stage. So we are facing a two-pronged problem. Getting our production to continue to increase on the back of old infrastructure, and secondly, getting that infrastructure ready for the next level, and having a firm understanding of what data is being generated from your assets and using it to help make that further decision is an area where we have been able to support quite a number of our clients, both locally and internationally.
Thank you so much, and well done to you and ILF for providing data that's helpful for decision making. I want to ask you, what are you doing to protect this data you have, or databases, from cyber attacks? Bjorn, is there anything you're doing in particular? Just for Bjorn, for ILF. Is there anything in particular you're doing to protect these databases from cyber attacks? Yes.
I'm an engineer, not an I mean, it's a problem, it's a challenge that we are all facing, whether it's we are protecting data or we are protecting our own infrastructure. But I think a lot of us are seeing the additional challenge of having to invest considerably on our own computing infrastructure to protect this. What are we doing? I mean, this is a fundamental investment in IT infrastructure, cloud technology. Also, funny enough, we have to now start relying on artificial intelligence again in also being able to interpret the data that we are using. So it's a lot of investment that we have to make, which is quite another problem that we face.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ILF. So going back to Halliburton, and Sajeev, can you tell us how you are leveraging emerging technologies to optimize your operations and enhance energy security?
No, thank you very much. I think to start with, I must start with the value proposition for Halliburton. We say that we collaborate and engineer solutions to maximize customer asset value. I think the most important factor about emerging technologies for it to be impactful is to ensure that it's adding value to our customers. It's either reducing the cost, improving the efficiency, or in one way or another, increasing production. So that's the value. So I think that's the bottom line as far as emerging technology is concerned. It needs to add value to our customers. So that's the most important thing. As I mentioned earlier, I think the few things I will cover here from a technology perspective, one is on the supply chain. Though it's very basic, I talked about diversity of supply chain, but it is important to ensure that we have global visibility and we have technology in place to put processes in place so that that visibility helps us to take this supply chain or the spares from wherever in the world we can. So that drives our inventory down and ultimately drives the cost down. So that's one important factor. Then I'll talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning. The way we look at it in Halliburton is these technologies need to add value, as I said earlier. So this is becoming a very important part of all our technology offerings when we look at our downhole tools or our completion tools to ensure that we use artificial intelligence and learning, for example, to improve the telemetry speed, to improve data acquisition, to have that loop so that real time we can correct the data we have acquired. So that's important part where we apply artificial intelligence and machine learning. Then coming down to a little bit on energy sustainability. I'm pleased to say that even in Nigeria right now, we are working on a carbon capture and underground storage project for the government. We are working with World Bank to ensure that the basic level implementation of technologies there in geological characterization. We're using our landmark tools there. So from a CCUS perspective, there is a lot of advancement in technology, in data interpretation, and we are pleased to implement that in Nigeria itself. Then, in same line, from geothermal perspective, I think that's additional technology implementation globally, though not a lot, not in Nigeria right now. But we are implementing technologies to ensure that we have something like geo-ESP lifting tools, which can be used to extract in geothermal application. Then, important part, what we execute in Halliburton is around well construction, which is around drilling optimization and production optimization. And this is where, of course, the basic set of our technologies are used in well construction, right from the drilling tools to completion tools to AICDs. So there's a whole set of tools, as I said earlier. We work very collaboratively with our customers to ensure that our designs meet the basic aspects of efficiencies for our customers. And lastly, I just want to highlight the Halliburton's involvement, what we call as our Halliburton Labs. This is our global initiative to ensure that we are working with startups and companies who are in the perspective of driving carbon down. And a lot of countries are collaborating. They're using our labs in Houston and ensuring that we put in some seed capital in those companies, but more so, we give them our labs to experiment so that we can be part of what they do from a sustainability perspective. So yeah, you can get more information on Halliburton Labs from our website, but that's an initiative from Halliburton on the sustainability side. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you so much. So Sanjeev has told us broadly what Halliburton is doing to leverage technology in well engineering, construction and drilling, also in geothermals, and this Halliburton Labs, I think that is really a good one for carbon capture and driving down CO2 and encouraging use of technology. What I liked the most that you said was you don't slap on AI just for the fun of it. You slap on the AI and the machine learning to ensure that you add value to what you're delivering to your customers. So well done, Halliburton. Yeah, another round of applause, please.
Sorry, one thing on Halliburton Labs, again, for startups in Nigeria, if there are any, I will encourage, if there are companies around who really want to collaborate, please talk to our representatives. I think it's a fantastic initiative from Halliburton to let our labs be used for startups focused on clean tech or sustainability.
And that's for free. Yes? Is that a yes or a no?
Well, I think we will, as I said, I think once you touch base with us, as I said, I mean, we put in our seed capital, so there is a whole lot of process to go through. But it's simple. It's not a difficult process.
No problem. Thank you. See Sanjeev after the panel discussion, if you're interested. Thank you very much. So we'll go swiftly now back to Eloho and ask you, Eloho, what challenges is Shell facing in the process of integrating renewable energy sources into our overall energy mix? The challenges, and how are these being addressed?
Yeah, integrating renewable energy into your energy mix comes with challenges, but they are not insurmountable. And I would list a few of them and maybe build on two. The market condition has got to be right. You've got to have customers, you've got to have outlets where the energy will be taken to. Storage is critical for renewable energy. Infrastructure for transmission, it's really critical. And regulatory policies, economics, it's got to make sense. Every renewable project must make attractive returns. And if it's not making returns, tough decisions have got to be made. So if I look at the challenges we face, this year we've had to make a tough decision as Shell Group. to put one of our projects on hold because the market conditions weren't right. If you then look at other places where we've been able to make good investment decisions, and that's because the returns, they are right. The market conditions must attract great returns for you to be there. If you look at storage, storage is another major one. The green energy system has to be cost effective, it has to be reliable, it has to be scalable. If it's not scalable, why are you there? It's got to be scalable, it's got to be safe for the environment and safe for people. So those are some of the challenges you've got to face if you're setting up renewable energy. The last one I'll probably touch on is political, economics, regulatory, and social obstacle. In managing a multi-energy business, right, you've got to think about the risk and uncertainty. And every investor needs to have that confidence before they can put in their money. There has to be transparency, there has to be predictability. You've got to tackle the challenges around you. So those are some of the challenges we currently face. But we've seen some projects come up and we're doing very well. For example, if you look at Germany, we've brought in Refine 2. We've just done an investment decision. If Refine 1 didn't make money, we won't do a Refine 2. So we're seeing successes and we'll continue to keep our pace in that.
Much. Round of applause for Shell, please. And thank you for telling us the challenges, especially getting the economics right, managing the risks and uncertainties, and what Shell is doing, notwithstanding the risks, to still continue investing. You have to keep at it, don't give up. Thank you very much. So we'll go swiftly now to OK and ask you what strategies or technologies have proven most effective in ensuring a stable supply of critical materials and components for your operations.
Once again, thank you very much. As operators, one situation you want to avoid is production deferment. You want to avoid downtime and production deferment. But if you don't manage your supply chain appropriately, you're going to have deferment. So for us, this is an important part of the business. It's a key enabler to operations excellence. So we have an engagement model with our vendors and suppliers, and I will just describe that with one word, and that's partnership. We work with our suppliers as partners. We are crystal clear to them on what our expectations are, but at the same time, we give them the necessary support to enable them deliver. We don't award jobs to suppliers and then sit back and watch if they are going to succeed or fail. Because I said it's a partnership, we engage closely. Where there are challenges, we work with them to resolve them and increase their chances of delivering as expected. So in that model of partnership, we fulfill our own obligations. We pay on time in line with the contract. We provide all other supports that they require from us, but then we demand performance from them as well. And we also have a very robust contractor evaluation mechanism that we run. So we're always providing feedbacks to them. We get them to understand where they are doing well and where they have to improve. So that way we are contributing to developing their capacity. And what we've seen over time is that as their capacity is enhanced, we see them come to the table and give us the level of support we require to maintain operational excellence and also to deliver projects on time. But one part of it I have to emphasize is timeliness. We are quite proactive in determining our needs and starting the procurement process on time. So that way we have sufficient time to engage our partners, because that's very important, get their support, get their concurrence, and also leave the contractors with sufficient time to go through that process and make the materials available to us on time. So this partnership model, we have really seen it deliver results for us and really been a key contributor to the success that we have achieved so far. Thank you very much.
Well done, Seplat, well done. So Seplat believes in partnerships. And he said they pay on time. We'll take his word for it, they pay on time. And they do some kind of supplier evaluation to figure out where the suppliers need help. And I hope it's a 360 so that the suppliers are also evaluating Seplat. Thank you very much. Well done. So, Dr. please tell us how ExxonMobil balances the need for investment in traditional energy infrastructure with a push towards funding renewable energy projects.
Thank you once again. The question you pose here actually gets to the core of what we believe to be our role as the biggest energy company in the world. We view this as the dual energy challenge. The dual energy challenge on one hand of the growing energy needs in the world. There's enough literature out there that shows that oil and gas is going to play a part until 2050 and beyond when it comes to the energy mix. And on the other hand, the realization that the world needs to move towards net zero, lower emissions environment. 34 billion metric tons of CO2-related emissions. That's what gets emitted every year. 80% of that comes from industrial activity, power generation, and commercial transportation. These three areas constitute 80% of that figure. And these are the hard to decarbonize sectors. That's where we have chosen to play as ExxonMobil. And therefore, about 4 years ago, we created the Low Carbon Solutions Company, and we, through that company, delicately balance investments into both traditional sources and low emissions type opportunities. And we do this through varying strategies. Our investment strategy, our research and development, and we also do this through policy advocacy. In terms of our investment strategy, we balance it, as I said earlier on, between traditional sources and new energy sources, biofuels, lithium, and what we are mostly known for, carbon capture and storage. I'll also say that approximately 50% of what we invest goes into our own operated assets, and 50% goes into other companies trying to reduce emissions. The second aspect is research and development. We invest in both traditional sources and projects that are supposed to get us to a lower future from an emissions perspective. Finally is policy advocacy, where I think we've done well in the US because they've been responsive, and projects have been brought forward that would help reduce, that would help remove significant amounts of CO2 from the atmosphere. This is where Nigeria can also play by making sure that the right policy is in place. Because as I said earlier on, capital will only flow to where it's welcome, where it will get the best returns on investment. So Nigeria needs to put the enabling policy in place to also be able to attract investments for renewable sources of energy and other projects that are supposed to bring our emissions down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done to you, Dr. and ExxonMobil. Round of applause for them. I had never heard of this low carbon solutions project, so that's a new one today, and really it's awesome that you're doing that kind of project. And you've spoken again about policies, creating the enabling environment for investors to come in, and for us to be more efficient in the way we deliver projects. Now I'm going to take final words from the panelists, 1 minute each, but I have this pad that was given to me by the organizers, and it says, ask me anything. I have only one question. I really wanted to open it up to the audience for Q&A, but I'm not allowed to call you when you put your hand up. So if you really have a burning question, please use the tech. Can somebody come and explain to us how that works? I think you're supposed to use a code. Do you all have it? Fantastic. So please, if you have any questions for the panelists, and I expect that you have lots of questions, please do us the honor of asking your questions on the platform. And while I take the final words from the panelists before we go to Q&A. Thank you. All right, so final words, please. We'll start with you. Thank you.
I think there's agreement in the House that that Africa, and especially Nigeria, has a journey to make in ensuring energy security. I think Africa is in a different situation where we have an energy deficit compared to the rest of the world. The advantage we have is the resources are available, the technology is available, it has been tried and tested. I am of the opinion that the policies are also available. The challenges we have is proper implementation, and like Dotu said, investment will only flow in the direction in which the ROIs are better. So it's up to us, the government and the people of Nigeria, to ensure that the physical terms are right so that we can continue to attract the proper investment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, round of applause for ILF. Thank you so much. And thank you for all you do for the industry. Okay, so we'll go to Sanjeev of Halliburton for your last words.
No, thank you very much. I think there are a few key messages from a Halliburton perspective. One is around technology innovation and digital transformation. Halliburton is invested in R&D from a technology perspective. A lot of things are happening on the digital transformation, and it's very interesting to see that your questions, and I asked my son to put it in ChatGPT. So it is very interesting what in today's world the young generation can get answers so quickly. And I think it's very important that the whole digital transformation is going to help us drive efficiency and operating efficiency in the system, and Halliburton is committed to that. Halliburton is diverse, our supply chain is diverse. I think we are working internationally in many geographies that gives us the stability to go through all the geopolitical challenges. We have been in Nigeria for more than 60 years, so we are committed to Nigeria. Over the last year, we've hired around 60 fresh people in the organization. We are very positive about overall what is happening in Nigeria, and from Halliburton's perspective, we have never seen more positivity, whether it is from the government authorities or in general from our customers in Nigeria right now. So for the young generation who's come into SPE, students who are here, I think this is no doubt that a good industry to get into, not only from a Nigeria perspective, but from a global perspective. Lastly, I think there is a commitment from Halliburton to drive sustainability and energy security. As I said, we are working on carbon capture underground storage in Nigeria. And globally, a lot of efforts are being done to drive the emission down and ensuring that we are contributing to the energy security globally. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you so much to Halliburton. And we'll go now to Ella of Shell, please, for your last words, final words.
The global energy is evolving. Sustainability and resilience is key in the space. Conventional energy will continue to play a role for now. In future, it will taper out. But for us to be able to meet net zero in 2050, renewable has a key role to play there. However, renewable must be competitive and it must attract the right returns. As Shell, we'll continue to ensure that we have the right energy mix to enable us meet the target for net zero in 2050.
Thank you very much, Shell. And now we go swiftly to Seplat, okay, for your last words.
Thank you very much. Energy security is one theme that we have talked about a lot this morning. And we've also made the point that the conventional energy sources will continue to play a key role going into the future. So for Nigeria, it is important that we use the resource we have, gas, to solve the energy security challenges that we have. And as Seplat, we've made a decision to rise to the challenge through the significant investments we have made in domestic gas. And our plan is, with the continued support of government and other stakeholders, to continue to take strides to improve energy access in Nigeria. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Seplat. And from ExxonMobil?
Thank you. I think I'll go back to how I closed on the first question, where I left you with 3 words. If you wanted to enable an environment to move forward the energy projects, such as we have energy security, you're looking at stability and cost competitiveness, and then finally you're looking at pace. And also, by the way, for the renewable energy type projects, it's also the same thing. It's a heavily intensive, it requires a lot of money to move them forward. ExxonMobil, as an example, we're spending $20 billion over a 5-year period on such type of projects, 2022 to 2027. And that excludes our Denbury acquisition that has brought in additional competencies from a transportation perspective. So I'll leave you with those 3 words: stability, cost competitiveness, and pace.
Yes, awesome. Thank you very much. Big round of applause for these awesome panelists. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to do the Q&A. I have one question here, and it says, when will Shell extend electric car charger project to Nigeria, and thereby enabling the pivot to electric vehicles locally with the attendant benefit of carbon emission reduction? So, hello, I think that's yours.
To be honest, it's a very good question for Nigeria in the future. We've got to think about Nigeria today. We don't have sufficient energy to meet the needs of our population today. So first thing first is to focus on the short term, medium term, and long term. Electric vehicles, it's between medium term and long term. So our focus right now is seeing how we support Nigeria to meet the gas required for today's energy.
All right. As the power, based on the power vested in me as the moderator, I'm going to allow people from the audience to ask. Maybe the technology is the problem. Do you have anything you'd like to ask us before we go? I think we have a glitch here. There's 11 questions, but they're not showing on my pad. So somebody's going to help me sort it out. I really apologize. We just can't see the questions. The pad is not working, unfortunately. I'm sure they'll fix it before the next Naice. But let's give... But let's give kudos. Let's just give kudos to these awesome panelists, these giants of industry, yeah, for the exceptional work that they are doing to ensure energy security globally and at country levels. But what about you and I? What can we do? So my charge to you is, as we live here today, in our own little communities, let's try and create our own local community version of energy mix. Invest in renewables on your own or as a small community. Solar, wind, like Ella said, there's solar, there's wind, there's biogas. We have all sorts of nasties around that we want to get rid of. So convert the crap to gas, you know, and use it in your homes, use it in your industries, small businesses. Because at the end of the day, as the saying goes, self-help is what? Best help. Thank you very much.
Please remain seated for just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes. Let me quickly welcome Engineer Amina Dan Madami, our Vice Council Chair and incoming Chair, to give the vote of thanks. Please let's put our hands together. And for those who do not know, from Abuja section, we're producing our first female Council Chair.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming and participating in this very wonderful session. Would like to, on behalf of SPE Nigeria Council, I would like to thank everyone for coming. I would like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring this program, because without them, we couldn't have held this program. I would like to thank our eloquent speakers and our moderator, and I'd like to assure you that that will be fixed. The glitch will be fixed. In fact, I'm sure it is fixed now. Thank you very much once again. And then to our participants, you're at the core of this. It's for you. So thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council Chair, now please, if you can come do us the honor of appreciating our panel. Can we give our panelists another round of applause? Okay, can we have it real quick? Let's begin with Mr. Sanjay Verma's plaque. Let's have Mr. Sanjay Verma's plaque. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Verma, for your insights. Council Chair, for Mr. Verma. Next, let me quickly have that of Engineer Aiboni. Engineer Aiboni. And Mr. Brown, Roger Brown, will follow after Engineer Aiboni. No, you gave me Aiboni. Is there? That's what you are touching. That's what you are touching. All right, there you go. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. I like your response to that last question. Let's solve today's problem and plan for tomorrow's problem. Mr. Brown, represented by Mr. Nba, thank you so much. Let's have the next one. Yes, Oladotun Isiaka. Thank you so much, Mr. Isiaka. Yes. I don't know if there's a reason why they sat separate and eggs on next to each other. I'm just thinking out loud. Let me have Abiodun Oshodi, please. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Mr. Oshodi. Thank you so much. Let me have for my moderator now, Engineer Akpedeye. Thank you, our moderator, for doing a fantastic job as always. Now let me have for Engineer Mashola Ogbe represented. Please come forward, and then Honorable Krapa will follow after that. This is for our keynote speaker. Let's have, please put some Nigerian jollof spice on this one for Honorable Krapa. I want to send it to Ghana with some Nigerian jollof spice. I'm sure he will like it. Thank you, Honorable Krapa, represented by our incoming ARD. Thank you, Dr. Riverson. No, don't go inside. You take a family photo with them. Don't go. Thank you. Incoming Council Chairman, you've been in this picture. President SPI, sir, please join us. Dr. Yeti is, please, family photo now. Please rise for family photo. Thank you. Is Madeline Umo here? Council Conference Chair. AROD, yes, please come. Okay, we can't wait for her now. Let's do the photo. Come, let's do the photo. Let's do the photo. Jagil, please can you come? Join them. You are our sponsors today. Though you have your colleague here, he's a panelist. And our other sponsor is also here. So you join us, our other sponsor. Thank you. I was telling your colleague that your name looks like that of a luxury car. I hope you produce cars one day. Okay, there's more space that way. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We've come to the end of our panel sessions for Naice 2024. From here, yes, please go ahead. Let's give all of our speakers, moderators, sponsors, and yourselves, most wonderful delegates to this conference. That resounding applause is quite fitting. We thank everyone that has made it possible this year, and the shoulders on which we stand, our BOT, our most distinguished senior members who are also in the room joining us this morning. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Industry, some retired, academia, some retired, but they are still here giving us our support and a shoulder to lean on. We thank them. The lunch will follow after now, and remember this evening we will come back this other way this time around for the awards night. Please, let's all come out on time at 6. We'll do our best to start on time. We're hoping that we'll set up in good time. Enjoy the rest of the day. Visit our exhibitors one last time. We still have the raffle draw for a return ticket to London to give out, a weekend getaway for 2, and a 1-year subscription to iFitness. That will be by Airpeace booth just the next few minutes. See you all this evening. Thank you. Please, the lunch is still where you all had lunch since Monday. VIP lunch is at Crossroad. Delegates lunch is at Sky, Red, Fantasia. There's one other one. I'm sure you know where it is. But please, enjoy your lunch and see you in the evening. Okay, if you don't have the invite for the dinner, we have some of it for sale. It's starting at 7 p.m. I beg your pardon. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. and not 6. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. So you can come in at 6:30, 6:45 for us to start at 7 p.m. If you don't have the invite, we have tickets for sale at 10,000 for singles, 15,000 for couple. 10,000 single, 15,000 for a couple. All right? We want to make sure as many can get in through the door for the dinner.
Check, check.